Hey everyone, today I'm creating a series of cards using the Call Me Crafty SheetLoad of Card template for July 2026. There is a link in the description box below on how you can get your hands on the sketch and all the details to make your own set of cards. I am part of the creative team and we all use totally different papers and a totally different approach to creating cards. So it's great to also go and check out the playlist below to see all of the other team members and what they've created. Today I'm using a whole series of pattern papers from Paper Rose. These are 2x6" strips that I have cut down to be 2x5¼ and then I have the little bit that is being cut off the ends of all these pattern papers to use for part of the feature element of the card design. Now I went through and sorted through these pattern papers and put all the ones that I could really only use one side of the pattern paper with it facing up so that I could use those ones first and match them with either side of the other pattern papers. I figured they would be the trickiest to find a match for, so if I do that first, that would mean I had other options left for the other papers that might be a little bit more flexible with their colours. You can see here that I actually have a complete rainbow of different papers. A lot of them are from completely different collections. Some of them in here are even Christmas and have presents, and it is an absolute shambles. But I actually managed to make some good choices by mainly doing a busy pattern paper with a muted piece or one that was kind of a plain colour. And that was the best option that I had for working through and using up almost all of these pieces. There was probably 4 or 5 left where in the end I felt like I couldn't match 2 of them together and have it be cohesive. So I just put those aside to use on another project. But I was surprised that I believe I got maybe 17 or 18 cards out of using this method. After I had gone through and partnered these up, it was just a matter of putting some double-sided tape onto the back of these and deciding which, you can see there I couldn't remember which side I was supposed to be using. And it was a good test actually to see if I still agreed with the two I was going to put face up. And in some instances I might have made a quick change. I can't actually remember. When I attach these two pieces to the card, I'm creating landscape cards today, and I made sure that I put the papers on quite specifically based on how the card would open. So I've got the seam of the card or the fold of the card on the left-hand side, and then you'll see me kind of pick them up, double check which way I'm putting the paper. So if it has a design that is, needs to go a particular direction, like flowers need to face with the stems down, for example. I was very, very careful before I put them on because adding these to the backing panels and then trying to make a change would have gotten really messy. So I'm putting the darkest color at the bottom for the most part, or the one that has the busiest paper, and then the plain color at the top. So I only show you a few of these because this is all very straightforward. The Paper Rose papers are quite thick and they're actually quite slippery. And so because of the thickness of the pattern paper, I did not have any issues lining it up. So the edges were a perfect match. I just sort of tilted it on an angle, slid it up to the edge of the other pattern paper and popped it down. And all of them were very, very straight, which means I must have done a good job cutting the pattern papers down for my previous project, which must have used a 4" by 6" strip of paper, which is why I had so many 2" strips left behind. Now that I've gone through that stage, I was really not sure what I was going to do for the front of the card and this little feature element. It really only has a small space. So what I decided in the end was that I had a whole series of, again, Paper Rose cut aparts. When I place an order with them, they normally put in a couple of freebies, and it's normally a few little sheets of cut aparts or a few sheets of pattern paper. And I have a few of these sitting here in my stash, open and partially used. So I used Halloween, I used Christmas, I used butterflies, I used little critters, I used a kids pack. It is an absolute mixed bag, and it was just a matter of working through and matching up the color of the design element with whatever color paper I had behind. And honestly, it's the most eclectic mix that I've got going on here. And with this one here, with the bee, there's flowers in the background and the colors match up pretty nicely. So a few of these, after I made them and I was taking the photo for my thumbnail, I did look at them and think, that is a really unusual birthday card, because I did stamp happy birthday for all of these, and you can see on the left hand side that the ones that are Halloween, like the little one that's like a little Frankenstein character, I mean, I guess you could use that for a birthday. I'm hoping somebody will enjoy it, or maybe it will just sit in my stash or the stash of the organizations that I donate to. But all the characters are super cute. And you never know, there might be someone who enjoys Halloween, and somebody will give that card to them for their birthday. But I honestly, maybe I should have thought it through a little bit more, but realistically, I don't do Halloween cards. So it would have sat in my stash unused. This way it's on a card, and hopefully we will find a lucky recipient who will enjoy it. Now with this, I did run through and decide the element that I was going to put on the card, and then I just sorted through the little 3/4 inch strips, and because they're double-sided and because I cut them off each piece of paper, I knew that I had more than double than what I actually needed to use, which was actually really fun, because as I was going through, I knew that I wouldn't need to be really careful about what was left by the time I got to the final card, because I knew there would still be plenty of choices. Sometimes you need to design your last 4 or 5 cards together, otherwise you end up with one that looks really strange based off the elements that are left in the end. So it was nice to be able to work through that process. Now with this one here, and using the little pictures of the kids doing painting, I just managed to really line up which one I felt where the colours of what they were wearing matched the pattern paper. So this one here, I actually didn't even put the coloured pattern paper down the left-hand side of the sentiment part here, because this character with the easel would completely cover it anyway. So I just filled up the entire element with that one little ephemera. Now doing this card here, I had so many of the little art items that I just thought, I'm just going to wing it, and I'm going to do a bit of a collage, and I'm going to see what happens in the end. So I started out with this cute little apron and the little handprint, and then I kind of worked from there. I managed to include some of the paint and a paintbrush and one of the palettes, and I have enough elements left that if I did a similar card to this again, I could sort of stack these items up and create another little collage. So with the paint and a couple of the paint tubes, and again, there's another one of those palettes there. So these all came out of a single sheet of the Paper Rose ephemera. I highly recommend their cut aparts, by the way. They're really easy to pull out of the sheets, and sometimes they leave like a little torn piece that you can easily cut off with your scissors. But sometimes I just leave it, and I think it's not really too noticeable, and it's, the card's going to be enjoyed, and it's not like there's a big bit hanging off the edge, just maybe a little bit that if you really looked at it closely, you would notice. With this one here, I did get a little bit creative because it does say happy birthday, and some of these look very Christmassy, like the little owl in the red beanie. Now, it doesn't say Christmas. It doesn't have anything on it that is Christmas. I think it's the color combination for me. And the fact that it came from a sheet that had things like candy canes and Christmas trees. But I'm hoping we can get away with it and be a little bit creative about how we use cards like this. If it turns out that I don't think it's going to work, I can just put a Merry Christmas over the top of the happy birthday sentiment, and everything will be just fine. I would love to know in the comments below which of these is your favourite card. Are you someone who likes the look of the butterfly ones, or maybe the little critters, or some of the elements that are a little bit unusual, like maybe someone's favourite is the Halloween. I'm not sure. I think the Halloween ones are super cute, but they are a little odd, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. If you're enjoying the video, it would be fantastic if you could please hit the like button. That is how YouTube knows you've enjoyed the video, and they will then share it with more viewers. So it is appreciated. I am on the road to 5,000 subscribers, so let's see how long it takes me to get there. I'm really curious as to what your favorite videos are. I have a couple on my channel that are to do with really using up lots and lots of scraps. I have others where I do things like card challenges or sketches. I'm really keen to do some more of my card making fodder videos. If you have not seen that video, I will put a link at the end of this one, along with the link to the playlist for this month's sheet load. That is my most popular video by far. So if you haven't seen it, maybe it's worth checking it out, and then let me know if you think more videos of that style would be appreciated. Have a great day.